Maybe I'm just not that into headphones.
Don't you feel like trying something new?
Welcome to Lancaster Hi-Fi. Let's talk about some headphones. Over the last few years, I've been seeking out better equipment, repairing old equipment, and even building my own equipment to achieve better sound and derive greater enjoyment from my music collection. And I am a collector. I predominantly listen to records and CDs, although I do rip both of those to audio FLAC files and do some streaming, especially in my office at work. In this room, I've built a system that gives me a lot of joy. These ADS L520s are the third pair I've tried in here, but I've tried many others in different parts of the house, and these are the ones that I really like in here. I tried a few different things that do amplification, vintage receivers, integrated amps, preamp, power amp combinations, before settling on the combination of my Beaver Valley tube amp that I built myself and the Adcom GTP 500 Mark II. But I've tried many other receivers and amplifiers in the house. I've had the same turntable, this Pioneer PL630, since high school, but I've recently upgraded with a SIVGA Atheta moving coil cartridge and a little hi-fi phono preamp. I've also tried a couple of different CD players in here. I really like this Rotel RCD855. It's the second one I bought of these. I bought the first one and restored it for a friend of mine. Most recently, I tried several different RCA interconnects before deciding to make my own with some Mogami cable and Viborg solid copper rhodium plated connectors. And I've been really pleased with the combination of all of these things. I put on this record last night and I was just blown away by how good it sounds. I have not focused on headphones. I've had a few different headphones, including these Yamahas that I bought new in the 80s for like $40. These Bose cans that I used many years ago, although the ear pads are doing pretty poorly. And these Philips noise canceling headphones that I used to use a lot on airplanes. Geez, back in the 80s, I had a Sony Walkman that I literally put a lot of miles on. Like, I took it to Hong Kong, China, and Tibet. And I used that a lot when traveling back in the day. I've had some other random crappy headphones and earbuds. Now, when I want to use my phone's sound, but not its built-in speakers, I use these Jabra Bluetooth earbuds. However, when I want to kick back and listen to music, I don't use headphones because I'd rather listen to speakers. Do I hate headphones? Am I somehow against using headphones? No, I'm generally indifferent. On some level, I don't understand their appeal, but I think it's more accurate to say that they just haven't been a priority for me. Recently, I got an email from a Chinese company called SIVGA, and they offered to send me a pair of their headphones if I would agree to review them on my YouTube channel. I do get to keep the headphones. They are the SIVGA Robin SV021s. They've got these really nice actual wood backs. They've got really comfortable ear pads. I don't know if they are actually leather, but they feel like leather. And they've got a pretty comfortable top band here, which also feels like leather, soft leather. I pulled out some other headphones to compare the Robins to. My old Yamahas, This is a pair of Yamaha headphones that I got when I was a teenager. I think they cost $40 back in 1983 or so. Used to be nice leather, soft leather head thingy. It's tattered now. And these are, of course, on-ear headphones. I tried out the Bose, and I borrowed a pair of Audio-Technica headphones from my son. These are the ATH AD900 Air headphones, and these are open back. You know, they've clearly seen better days. Now, like I said, the Yamahas were like $40 in 1983. The Boses, I have no idea. The Audio-Technicas, I think, would have been $300 before they were discontinued. The ATH AD900X goes for like $190 on Amazon today, I think. And after trying out the Robins and spending a little time with them, I'm still not into headphones. Compared to the sound of my speakers in this system, none of the headphones I tried are even in the same league. I listen to music for enjoyment, and none of the headphones, including the Yamahas, the Boses, the Audio-Technicas, and the SIVGA Robins, gave me the kind of enjoyment that I get from my speakers in this system. I did enjoy the Robins sometimes, but at other times I found them pretty unenjoyable. Relative to the other headphones that I tried, the Robin has way more pronounced bass, and that's really the first thing you notice when comparing them to other headphones, because the bass is pretty lacking in the other headphones, at least in comparison to these, and in comparison to the speakers in the room. The first thing that I really enjoyed with these was Steven Wilson's remastering of Freehand by Gentle Giant. Now, my go-to test track is Babylon Sister by Steely Dan. That started out fine, pretty nice on these. Could really feel the bass drum kick in and so on. But when it got to the chorus of Babylon Sister, shake it, that last exclamatory bit of the chorus got pretty distorted. And it wasn't just my imagination. I had my son come down and listen as well, and he heard it too.
I'm waiting for this long ass intro to. It has like pretty good mid range, but like you can tell it's trying.
Yeah, I noticed that Babylon Sister.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of distorted.
Yeah. So when did you buy these?
Probably 1983.
Damn. That's all. Just
Damn.
Oh my god. Headphones don't fit. I have like no ears. Okay. Yep. They just sound better. And you can tell that they're old, but like they do sound better.
They were like marginally better, but not like...
a whole lot. And you know, they're also like 40 years old, so who cares? Don't have a lot of clarity at like the high end.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, there it is, okay. These ones sound like they sound better, but also not. These ones sound better overall, I think.
Part of it, I think, is that they're heavier. They've got more bass.
Yeah.
And so they just feel like roomier.
Yeah. These feel like you're in a muffled box.
Yeah, I mean, and the Yamaha's kind of muffled as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're not hearing the bass, it just sort of sounds constricted.
Like, this is like being trapped in a cardboard box that your older brother stuffed you in. And this is like driving in a way too fast car with the moonroof open. And you can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Except for like your friend yapping in your ear to slow down.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'm describing my life experiences.
All that I've put into every link in my system, all carefully chosen because I like these components. And then tossing a new thing in, right? Taking out my nice tube amp, plugging straight into the preamp with a different set of speakers that are right up close to your ear. So I'm not a big fan of headphones, but maybe I just need to give these a bit more time. And I think I will, spend a little time listening to these. Now, Amir of Audio Science Reviews reviewed these on his website. So whereas the ideal headphone frequency response is sort of a V shape where it's, boosted in the bass and it drops in the mid-range and then goes up in the treble, the Robins had a really pretty narrow band scoop in the mid-range, so that the upper bass was more pronounced than sort of the ideal headphones curve. And what I've noticed also is that the high trebles, the tings, the little triangle chime sounds, that those are a bit muted in these, especially relative to my speakers, but not necessarily relative to some of the other headphones I tried. The Audio-Technicas had the best treble of the ones that I tried. The other thing you notice when you just look at the frequency response that Amir published, up in the treble, they're kind of erratic. The frequency response he showed had these big zigs and zags in it. Now, the other thing that he showed, which really speaks to what I'm hearing as a problem with these, is they had these huge distortion spikes between 3 kilohertz and 7 kilohertz that got really, really big as you cranked up the volume. And so that's what I was really noticing when I played Babylon Sister. At relatively high volume, the chorus just really broke up in these. Now, if you're satisfied to listen at lower volumes, at low volumes, they're enjoyable. And maybe also just on certain tracks, that don't really hit that particular frequency or pair of frequencies at which they become distorted at higher volumes. But, that bit is kind of a pain. And, it wasn't super pronounced. If I weren't used to listening to a pretty highly resolving and undistorted sound on my system, maybe I wouldn't have noticed it. But I did notice it. Once I noticed it, I kept noticing it, and that, that's distracting from the enjoyment that I would otherwise have. Now, I didn't mind their rather narrowly scooped out mid-range, and I enjoyed the sort of bass response. I would rather they did have a better treble response. I do tend to favor a relatively bright sound. I really like that sparkle, that I get from my speakers and that I just wasn't quite hearing from these. But to be fair, I wasn't hearing it from the Yamahas either, and I wasn't hearing it as well on the Audio-Technicas as on my speakers. But these are all relatively cheap headphones. Now, I didn't pay much for my speakers, but they are ADS speakers, and they're really nice. Going into the headphones, I skip what the power amp does for the sound, and I skip what the speakers provide for the sound. I miss out on that when I use the headphones. That Adcom preamp is a really nice preamp. It should have sounded just fine. That Adcom preamp is not the problem with these headphones. That I'm sure of. The problem with these headphones is with the headphones. I did not do a direct comparison of these to my Jabra earbuds. When I listen with my Jabra earbuds, I'm not expecting a hi-fi experience. I know it's Bluetooth, so I know that it's, gonna be limited that way. I'm typically listening to those in relatively high noise environments, and I'm half using them as earplugs, like when I'm mowing the lawn. With headphones that look like this and have this kind of build quality, I am expecting a hi-fi experience, and it just wasn't there for me. would the problems with this not be so apparent with a less resolving system? And I think they would be. I mean, because those distortion peaks were not small, especially at high volume. They were not so large at lower volumes. And so I think at lower volumes, you can, feasibly listen to these where those distortion spikes are going to be less than 1% distortion, and it would be fine. Again, if you're satisfied listening at relatively lower levels. These can be nice because they do give you that sort of bass boost that can be nice at lower listening levels. So they don't have the sparkle that I like and I'm used to. At say low listening levels, you wouldn't be distracted from enjoying the music by the distortion and by, say, the lack of a super sparkly high end. Like I said, after testing all these headphones, I'm still not into headphones. While the Audio-Technicas I thought were the best of the ones that I tried, I'm not eager to do more listening to those. I found in a way doing the listening for this video to be a bit of a chore because I just didn't enjoy it the way I enjoy my system as it is with the speakers. But they're all cheap headphones. A large part of why I'm not favorably disposed to these headphones is not particular to these headphones. Rather, I didn't really like any of them all that much. One of the issues with headphones is the cord's not all that long. So even in here, it doesn't reach from my preamp to my couch. And it's a small room. Upstairs, it wouldn't reach from my Marantz receiver to my couch. And so in both cases, I need these if I want to sit on a comfortable couch while I do the listening. So I spent some more time with these. I had a bunch of grading I had to do. So I plugged the extension cord into my Marantz and listened to the Marantz all day while I graded exams. These were fine for that purpose. I could wear the headphones all day and they were comfortable. And they were reasonably enjoyable to listen to. I did at some point put on the test track, Babylon Sister, crank up the volume, and the same distortion was there. I played one of my favorite albums, Heartworms by the Shins. I've used the sort of amazingness of Shins songs on a good system as a way to gauge whether another system is giving me the sound that I'm used to, and these didn't quite do it. In fact, Mercer, his voice had a distorted edge on it that I couldn't stop noticing. I wasn't absolutely sure it wasn't part of the original production, but I don't remember it from previously. And then it would go in and out of more distorted. And that's indicating to me that his voice was, at least overtones of his voice were coming in and out of the peaks in distortion in these headphones. That's when I was paying close attention, but most of the time at lower volume they were fine. Last night I spent several hours with the headphones plugged into my phone watching the last couple of episodes of The Wire on my phone. I did notice, when the theme kicks in with that really low bass line, that bass line was quite audible in here and sounded okay, sounded pretty good. Again, I was listening at sort of normal volumes so that things didn't sound distorted, and they were fine for that purpose. They were fine for watching television on my phone. When I say that I don't necessarily recommend these, what I'm saying is that if you are the kind of person like me who is only going to spend money on something that is going to improve the fidelity of your listening experience, regardless of whether it's $100 or $500 or $1,000, then I don't necessarily recommend these, because these are not an improvement in the fidelity of my listening experiences. But as sort of everyday $150 headphones for somebody who's not on the hunt for a hi-fi experience, they're fine, because they seem durable, the build quality is good, they sound reasonably good, again at sort of normal and moderate listening levels, and they're not that expensive. most people, when they're spending $150 on a pair of headphones, aren't really chasing what I'm chasing. And so, when I say I don't recommend them, I'm saying I wouldn't buy these knowing what I know about them, because they wouldn't improve my listening experience. But they might be fine for somebody who just wants, a relatively low price, but high build quality pair of headphones. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, maybe even got something out of it. If you did, please hit the subscribe. It'd really be nice to go ahead and move towards that 10,000 subscribers thing. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, I put a lot of work into these videos. It'd just be nice to get that, achieve that milestone of 10,000 subscribers. So, if you're watching, it'd be pretty awesome if you could subscribe to the channel. Just saying. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like. I am interested in your comments. Take it easy, everybody. Have a great day, and I will talk to you later. These... crap. And good Lord. Part of me thinks I'm just not getting the level right. I need to get the level right. Okay, I got these old bows. Let's give them a shot.
Found this mixtape that this dude essentially forced me to buy from him on Hollywood Boulevard like 6 years ago. You ever heard of Risen Records? I do not expect you to play this. I'm gonna finally scan this QR code.
So far, I'm thinking the bows might be the winners, which surprises me.
I mean, they're what, just kind of run-of-the-mill?
They're pretty mid, yeah. I don't know, these might be better. All these fucking wires, I hate headphones.
Well, then why don't you just use Bluetooth headphones, Dad?
Bluetooth sucks. I think these might be the best of the three. I mean, not that any of these are fantastic
fantastic
headphones. Yeah, I don't know, man.